DMS.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we are live. And today, I'm here to give y'all my 2025 WNBA season predictions. As y'all know, the season starts tonight, so I will be giving y'all my Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, MVP, and Sixth Player of the Year, y'all. But before I get into that, I want to start with my playoff predictions and my finals winner. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, man. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. All right, y'all. So let's get into these playoff predictions. And coming in at the number 1 seed, I have the New York Liberty. You look at their starting five, they have Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud, Leonie Phoebus, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. And y'all, I still think the Liberty are the best team in the WNBA. I think they have the perfect blend of shooting, size, defense, and toughness in their starting lineup. And now they added Natasha Cloud, who is one of the best defenders in the league. She's a very tenacious player, and she's also a really good playmaker. So she's going to be able to run the point for them. And Sabrina is not going to have all that on her plate. So I just really love that duo of Sabrina and Natasha Cloud in the backcourt, y'all. And then obviously, I mean, this front court, Leonie Phoebus, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones, man, just so much size and length and versatility. But the thing I really love, y'all, about the Liberty is their bench, man, because they have a whole bunch of defense and shooting on their bench. Bringing back Marina Johannes. Now, she did not play last year, but now she's back, y'all. And in 2023, she was one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. They also brought back Rebecca Gardner, who did not play as well due to an ACL injury. And we know what Rebecca Gardner did a couple of years ago for the Sky, man. She's a very good defender. You still have Kennedy Burke and Niara Sabley in the front court. And we know Niara Sabley had a really good finals performance. And then, y'all, you have the young player at guard, Marquisha Davis, who really didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but I think this year she's going to have a bigger role because of her defense and athleticism. So, yeah, I still really love this Liberty team. I know some people think the Lynx and the Aces and Fever have passed them, but y'all, I don't agree with that. I still think that the Liberty are the best team in the WNBA, and I think they're going to have the best record in the league this year. At the number 2 seed, y'all, I have the Minnesota Lynx. Their starting five is Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Bridget Carlton, Nafisa Collier, and Alana Smith. And, man, let me tell y'all something. This Lynx team has a whole lot of shooting on it. They didn't make a lot of additions to their team. The only player they added, y'all, was Katie Lou Sampson. But to be honest with you, they didn't have to make a lot of additions to their team because this team was already really good. Obviously, they lost in the finals last year. A very tough series to the New York Liberty in 5 games, y'all. And this year, they're looking for their revenge, man. I'm going to tell y'all something. Nafisa Collier looks like she's going to have an even better season than what she did last year because I saw the way she played in Unrivaled, y'all. And, man, she is a woman on a mission. But, yeah, still really love this Lynx team. Love their shooting again, y'all. I mean, they shot 38% from 3 last year. They have the best shooter, in my opinion, in the league, and Kayla McBride. Courtney Williams is one of the most toughest players in the league. And then Bridget Carlton, y'all, I think she's just a perfect fit next to Nafisa Collier because she does so much of the dirty work. She's a player that doesn't get mentioned a lot because she's not going to score a bunch of points. You know, she's not going to have a lot of assists, but she's going to do all the little things to help your team win. And then their bench, y'all. And I think this is going to be very key for the Minnesota Lynx last year because this season, because last season they really relied on these 5 players. They relied heavily on their starting lineup. And that's probably why they came up short against the Liberty because the Liberty had the better depth than them. But this year, y'all, I'm looking at their 2 young players, Diamond Miller and Alyssa Pilley. Now, we know Diamond Miller back in 2023, she had a pretty solid season for them. Last season, she had a shoulder injury, but even when she came back, man, she didn't look like the same player. So I'm really interested to see how she's going to perform this year. And then Alyssa Pilley, their draft pick from last year, y'all, she didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but I think this year she could have a bigger role because she is a very good offensive player. Now, I know she's not the best defensively, but she has a ton of skills offensively. She's a really good shooter. And, y'all, this Lynx team, they could use some help in their front court, right? I mean, they're kind of thin right now. And then Dorka Yuha, she's going to be out this season due to personal reasons. So if they could have Diamond Miller and Alyssa Pilley really step up for them and give them some good minutes this year, I think it's going to help this Lynx team a lot. But even if that doesn't happen, they're still going to be one of the best teams in the league, and they're going to be a finals contender, y'all. Coming in at the number 3 seed, we have the Las Vegas Aces. Their starting five is Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Nakia Stokes, and y'all, the Aces made a lot of changes to their roster this year. Obviously, the big change was trading away Kelsey Plum, bringing in Jewel Lloyd. I'm a big fan of Jewel Lloyd. She gives them a little bit more styles on the perimeter. We know she's a fearless scorer, man. She's a player, y'all, that can get you 25 to 30 points every single night, which I think is really going to take some pressure off Asia Wilson because last year I feel like at times, y'all, I mean, Asia had to do all of the scoring because Jackie Young, for her standards, kind of had a bit of a down year, Kelsey Plum definitely had a down year, and then Chelsea Gray was injured most of last year. So really, it fell on Asia to do all the scoring. But now you add in Jewel Lloyd, a player that gets those buckets, one of the best scorers in WNBA history. She's going to take a lot of pressure off Asia, y'all. And I love the additions they made to their bench, bringing in Dana Evans and Tiffany Mitchell. I really like Tiffany Mitchell, man. She, I think, is one of the most underrated defenders in the league. Dana Evans is a really good playmaker. She can make threes. And then, y'all, drafting Aaliyah Nye, who was the best three-point shooter in women's college basketball last year. Yeah, the Aces definitely improved their bench, y'all. I think for the Aces, it really comes down to the production that they get from their centers. We know they signed Cheyenne Parker Tyus. She's going to be out for about 3 months due to her pregnancy. So hopefully when she comes back, she looks like her old self because, a couple of years ago, she was an all-star caliber player. And then, y'all, their draft pick from last year who did not play due to an ACL injury, Elizabeth Kidley. I'm really interested to see if she's ready to go because I'm telling y'all, to me, that's what's going to make or break the season for the Aces is the production that they get from their centers. Let's be honest, y'all. Kia Stokes is not that good. She's just, an average player. They need more production from their centers, man, because last year Asia had to do so much, y'all, not just from a scoring perspective, but also a rebounding perspective. I mean, the Aces were one of the worst rebounding teams in the league last year because they really lacked the size and physicality that it took to be a good rebounding team. So, again, for the Aces, we know they can score. We know they have a lot of talent. They have, 4 all-star caliber players in their starting lineup. But, again, y'all, they need to get more production from their centers. If that happens, the Aces could definitely win another championship. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, y'all. Coming in at number 4, at the number 4 seed, we have the Indiana Fever. And they're starting 5. And I think this is the best starting 5 in the WNBA. But they have Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanda Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston. I mean, oh my goodness, y'all. Their starting 5 is absolutely stacked. And the Indiana Fever had the best offseason of any team this season, or this offseason, I should say, because they added 2 future Hall of Famers, y'all, and Natasha Howard and DeWanda Bonner, 2 players that have won a lot of games, that have won championships, that are very tough and tenacious, that have played at the highest level, y'all, just know how to get it done and bring them some much-needed veteran experience. We know last year, the Fever, they were a very young team, and I was kind of shocked that they made the playoffs because they just didn't have a ton of experience on their team. But now you bring in DeWanda Bonner and Natasha Howard, 2 veteran savvy players. I mean, I really love that addition. And y'all, they're really good defensively. I know they're older players, but they can still get after it on the defensive end, which that's what the Indiana Fever really needed. Last year, they scored a lot of points, but they were not able to stop their opponents. But now you add in Natasha Howard and DeWanda Bonner. Love that, y'all. We obviously know Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, maybe the best young duo in the WNBA. We expect them to take yet another leap this year. And then Kelsey Mitchell, y'all, who might be the most underrated scorer in the WNBA. She's still on the team. They were able to re-sign her to a 1-year deal. So, yeah, this starting 5 is absolutely stacked, y'all. But I think this Fever team, what separates them from some other teams is their depth, man. they added Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, now listen, I know she has a reputation of being a dirty player, y'all, but I really love the way she plays, man. I mean, she is just so physical. She's super tough. She's great defensively, and she can make plays for herself and for her teammates. And I think it's going to be huge when they're having a player, y'all, that can come off the bench and provide them a spark plug. I think that's really going to help the Indiana Fever. Like, because last year they didn't get a ton of production from their bench, but now this year it should be better with Sophie Cunningham, y'all. And also because they signed DeWanda Bonner, now Lexi Ho, she gets moved to a bench spot, which I think actually suits her better because I don't think Lexi is the best player. You know, she's not the player you want to be playing like 30, 35 minutes a night. But if you could play her 15 to 20 minutes a night, I think she could be very good for you, provide a lot of production, especially with her three-point shooting. And then, y'all, they also added Brianna Turner, who's one of the best shot blockers in the league. And they added Sydney Colson, who's a really good veteran point guard. She can make plays off the bench. She can play some pretty good defense. So when you just look at this team from top to bottom, man, they have a lot of shooting, a lot of size, y'all. But most importantly, now they've added some veteran experience to their roster. And then let me not fail to mention this, y'all. They added Stephanie White. They brought her back home, who is one of the best coaches in the WNBA. So, yeah, the Indiana Fever, they are definitely looking to win a championship this year, and they're going to be one of the better teams in the WNBA, man. If you thought they were solid last year, trust me, they're going to be even better than what they were last year. And I would not be shocked at the end of the season if they're holding up that WNBA trophy because, yeah, they just have a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and they have one of the best coaches in the WNBA to get it done. All right, y'all, coming in at number 5 with the 5th seed. We headed now to Atlanta, man. ATL, my favorite team, the Atlanta Dream. You look at our starting 5, man. We got Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Bree Jones, and Brittany Griner. And let me tell y'all something. I'm not being biased because I'm a Dream fan, but I think that if everything goes well for us, we are going to be a championship contender because we bring back the dynamic scoring duo, Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard. We know they're 2 of the best perimeter scorers in the league. We also brought back Jordan Canada, y'all, and I think Jordan Canada is the best perimeter defender in the WNBA, and I think she's one of the best passers in the WNBA. But, y'all, the reason I'm really excited about our team is the 2 front court additions we made, man. We really needed to improve our size and rebounding, and that is exactly what we did, signing Bree Jones and Brittany Griner at the power forward and center spots, respectively, y'all. Listen, I know Brittany Griner is older now. You know, she's going to be 35 in July, but she is still one of the best centers in the league. She's still, I think, the best shot blocker in the league, and she's still one of the best players in the league. I mean, she had a very productive season last year, and I expect her to continue her stellar play like she did a year ago, y'all. And then Bree Jones, man, a player that doesn't get talked about a lot, but she just comes to work. She does what she's supposed to do. And when you look at the end of the game, man, Bree can give you like 15 points and 8 rebounds every single game. So she's very low key. She's not going to say a lot, but man, when it's time to play, Bree is going to be there and she's going to be very productive, y'all. And then I think our bench is going to be very key this year because we brought in Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, who's very good defensively. She can run the show offensively. We brought back Maya Caldwell, who is emerging as one of the better 3-and-D players in the league. We also brought back Naz Hillman, y'all, and Naz has turned herself into a very solid role player. She plays with a lot of energy. She's a really good rebounder. So, yeah, I just like our team from top to bottom. And then, y'all, our new head coach, Carl Semesco, who was at Florida Gulf Coast for about 22 years. And we know when he was there, they had one of the top offenses in women's college basketball. And that's where this team, y'all, really needed help. That's where we needed help is with our offense. Last year, we only averaged about 77 points per game. We only shot 40% from the field, y'all. But now bringing in Carl Semesco, we should play a little bit faster offensively. We've added some more shooting to our team. I forgot to mention that we drafted Tina Powell. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Powell because I think all she does is shoot threes, but she does at a pretty high level. So hopefully she'll be able to shoot a lot of threes for us and make them this year. And then, y'all, again, just bringing in Bree Jones and Brittany Griner should also increase our efficiency because they're very good around the rim, 2 dominant post players. So, yeah, I really like this dream team. And again, if everything goes well for us, y'all, we can absolutely be a championship contender. To me, it's really going to come down to Ryan Howard. Can Ryan Howard establish herself as a superstar player in this league? Because so far, her first couple of years in the league, she's been very good. But I think this is the season, y'all, for Ryan to establish herself as one of the top 10, top 15 players in the league. And if she does that, man, y'all better look out for the Atlanta Dream. All right, y'all, coming in at number 6 with the 6th spot. I have the Seattle Storm. You look at their starting five: Skylar Diggins, Lexi Brown, Gabby Williams, Nneka Ogwumike, and Ezzy Magamir. And y'all, the Storm, they're an interesting team to me because they still have talent, right? Skylar Diggins is still one of the better point guards in the league. Nneka Ogwumike is still one of the better power forwards in the league. But y'all, I don't know how to feel about this Storm team because obviously they traded away Jewel Lloyd. And Jewel Lloyd, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the best scorers we've ever seen. And when I look at this Storm team, I'm really concerned about their scoring, y'all, and their shot creation. They have a lot of defenders, right? Gabby Williams is a really good defender. Ezzy is a really good defender. Alicia Clark is a really good defender. And Dominique Malanga, who they drafted with the second overall pick in this draft, she's a really good defender. But I'm just concerned about how are they going to score outside of Skylar Diggins and Nneka Ogwumike? I think that's a legitimate concern. I know some people think that the Storm can be championship contenders, y'all. I don't see that. I don't see the Storm being championship contenders because I don't think they have enough firepower. I think they'll be a solid team. Again, because you still have Skylar Diggins, you have Nneka Ogwumike. I really like them signing Lexi Brown. I think Lexi is a really good three-point shooter. She can play some defense on the perimeter, but I just don't think they're going to have enough, y'all. I kind of think this is too high for them, but when I was going through this, I was like, you know what? I'll put them in the sixth spot. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but I'm just telling y'all, don't expect big things from this Storm team because they just simply lack the firepower it takes to keep up with the best teams in the league. I mean, they do. And again, some people think this Storm team can be really good. I know even a couple of people I've seen y'all on my Twitter timeline that think the Storm are going to the finals. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe they feel that way. Because I don't see it, y'all. I don't see this team being a finals contender. I don't. They'll be solid. They'll win some games. You know, I like Noel Quinn, their head coach, but they're not going to be a championship contender. So, yeah, I don't have high expectations for the Storm. But, yeah, they will definitely make the playoffs because, again, still having Skylar Diggins and Nneka and Ezzy, I mean, that's a solid big three right there. Having Gabby Williams, Alexi Brown, Alicia Clark, Dominique Malanga coming off your bench. They're going to be a solid team. But, again, don't have super high expectations for the Storm, y'all. Coming in at number 7, I have the LA Sparks. Let me tell y'all something. Now, this is a team that I really like. I really like the LA Sparks, and I think they're going to be a playoff team this year, man. Their starting five is Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Plum, Rakia Jackson, De'Erica Hamby, and Cameron Brink. And y'all, I mean, adding Kelsey Plum just does so many things for this team because this is what they needed to do. They need to go out and acquire a superstar, or maybe I should say a star veteran guard that could aid in the development of Rakia Jackson and Cameron Brink, y'all. And now having Kelsey Plum, and I know Kelsey Plum had a down year last year, but we still know she's one of the best scorers in the league. She's very tenacious, y'all. She's a dog defensively, and she's going to give them a much-needed veteran presence at that guard spot. And you have her and Odyssey Sims. You're talking about two players, y'all, that have won a lot of games, that have played a lot, and are just tenacious, man. I mean, again, two dogs on the defensive side of the court. So, yeah, having Odyssey Sims and Kelsey Plum, I really like that backcourt. As many of y'all know, I'm a huge fan of Rakia Jackson. I think Rakia Jackson in a couple of years is going to be one of the best players in the league, man. She had a really good rookie season, y'all. I think she's going to be even better her sophomore season. De'Erica Hamby played very well last year, was an all-star, averaged about 17 points and 13 rebounds. And then Cameron Brink, y'all, is supposed to come back next month. We know she was having a very good rookie season last year, proved herself to be one of the best shot blockers in the league. And then I like their bench, y'all. I mean, they added Sarah Ashley Barker in the draft. I thought that was a phenomenal pick for them. She fits exactly what they needed, a 3-and-D wing, a player that can make threes at the high level, that can defend at the high level, and that can play multiple positions, y'all. So I really love that pick for them. Also having Eric McDonald, a solid backup point guard for them. So I just really love this Sparks team. Again, I think they're going to be a playoff team this year, y'all. And then I like their new head coach, Lynn Roberts, man. The Sparks last year, I feel like they played too slow at times. They have some young players. You need to get out and run, use your athleticism to your advantage. And Lynn Roberts, y'all, we know she loves to shoot threes. She loves for her teams to be able to get up and down the court. So I know you're going to just see a much improved Sparks team from a scoring standpoint. And yeah, I think they're ready, y'all, to make a playoff push this year. So I had them at the 7th spot, making the playoffs. And y'all, with the 8th and final spot, and this is probably going to surprise a lot of y'all, but I have the Chicago Sky, man. You look at their starting lineup: Courtney Vandersloot, Ariel Atkins, Kia Nurse, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoza. And I absolutely love the additions that the Sky made during the offseason. You talking about bringing back Courtney Vandersloot. And I know Courtney Vandersloot is 36 years old, but y'all, she's one of the best point guards in WNBA history, and she can still play at a high level. She still has phenomenal court vision, and that is something that the Sky really lacked last year. They did not have a true point guard on their team, which made it really hard for them to be a productive offensive team, y'all. If you're going to be a really good offensive team, you got to have a really good point guard that can run the show, that has good vision. And Courtney Vandersloot is one of the best passing point guards we've ever seen. So I think she's really going to help Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso due to her passing, y'all. And then the big addition they made was Ariel Atkins. I think Ariel Atkins is the best 3-and-D player in the WNBA, but she's beyond just a 3-and-D player, y'all, because she can make plays for herself and for her teammates. She's really good at finishing around the rim and getting to the free throw line, y'all, and then adding Kia Nurse to round out this starting five. Kia Nurse is a big-time shot maker. She can make a ton of threes, one of the better clutch shooters in the WNBA. And then, y'all, their bench, man, really love their bench, too. You know, drafting Haley Van Lith and Maddie Westbell, signing Mariah Jefferson and Rachel Banham and Rebecca Allen, bringing back Elizabeth Williams. I mean, I think this Sky team is really deep. I think they have really improved their roster, and I think because of that, y'all, they're going to be a playoff team, man. And then their new head coach, Tyler Marsh, who was formerly one of the assistant coaches, I should say, for the Las Vegas Aces, man. Listen, we don't know how good he's going to be as a head coach, but I think he's going to do a pretty solid job. And I really do, because, I mean, he comes from the Becky Hammond tree, and we know Becky Hammond, I think, is the best coach in the WNBA. So I think because of that, the Chicago Sky are going to have a lot of success this year. Last year, y'all, they almost made the playoffs. I mean, they were one game away from making the playoffs, and they didn't really have a very good roster. They didn't have a lot of shooting. They didn't have a ton of playmaking. Now you talk about, again, adding Courtney Vandersloot, a really good playmaker, adding Ariel Atkins, a really good shooter and defender, adding Kia Nurse, a really good shooter, adding Rachel Banham, a really good shooter, bringing back Elizabeth Williams, who's a really good defender, rebounder, and shot blocker, drafting Maddie Westbell, who's a really good shooter, drafting Haley Van Lith, who's a really good shooter and playmaker, signing Mariah Jefferson, who's a really good playmaker. Like, I think all the additions that they made is just really going to greatly benefit this team. And because of that, y'all, I think the Chicago Sky are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to do much after that, but I definitely think they will make the playoffs this year. So now, y'all, let's get to the teams that just missed out on the playoffs. And the first team I know is definitely going to surprise y'all, but coming in at number 9, at the 9th spot, I have the Phoenix Mercury. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this decision, but y'all, I just really don't like this Mercury team outside of 3 players. So let's look at their starting 5. They have Mo Akoa Makani, Kalia Copper, Satu Sabali, Alyssa Thomas, and Natasha Mack. And y'all, I think they have the best big 3 in the WNBA. Kalia Copper, I mean, we know her. She's a phenomenal scorer, the best mid-range shooter in the WNBA. She can really finish around the rim. Satu Sabali, a.k.a. the unicorn, man. I mean, she can do a little bit of everything on the court. She can shoot, she can pass, she can defend, she can dribble, she gets rebounds. She's a versatile defender. And then Alyssa Thomas, y'all, a.k.a. I call her Russell Westbrook, because she is just tripled over herself. We know she's I think the toughest and most tenacious player in the league. She's a really good playmaker. She can finish around the rim as well, and she's also a good rebounder, y'all. But the rest of this team is really, really, really lacking. I mean, really lacking. Mo Akoa Makani, y'all, has never even played in the WNBA, and now she's going to be their starting point guard. Now, I looked at her highlights. She played pretty well overseas with France, y'all, but we know the WNBA is a different monster. Okay, she was, she played well overseas, but this is different. Now she's playing on the professional level, and she's never played on the professional level before. So let's see how she's going to adjust to that. You have Natasha Mack, y'all, as their starting center, and it's like, Natasha Mack, I think she would be better coming off the bench, but they just don't have a lot of options. I mean, they don't. I like Kalani Brown, and I also like Sammy Wickham, but Sammy Wickham is going to be 37, y'all, later this year. Okay, I think Sammy Wickham is kind of on her last legs at this point. And Kalani Brown is limited to what she can do. She's a solid rebounder. She's a solid defender, but she's not the most agile. She's not the most athletic player. And she can really struggle when she goes up against faster players. So I really don't like this Mercury team outside of their big 3, Kalia Copper, Satu Sabali, and Alyssa Thomas. Now, I know some people think that the Mercury can still make the playoffs, even though they really only have three really good players, I should say. But I just don't see it, y'all. I think the Sparks and Sky have, more depth than they do. And I think that's going to play into their advantage. And I think that's going to be the downfall of the Phoenix Mercury, y'all. This Mercury team really reminds me of the current Phoenix Suns. We know the Phoenix Suns have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. But the reason they missed the playoffs, y'all, is because the rest of their roster is really poor. Nowadays, you cannot just have two or three really good players, man. You got to have a balanced roster of players that can contribute, that can play for you, and that can help you win. And this Mercury team, they just don't have it, y'all. And I think because of that, they are going to struggle this year. Now, I had them at the 9th seed, so that means they can still, maybe get the 7th or 8th spot. But right now, y'all, I like the Sky and Sparks ahead of them. So that's why I have the Mercury missing out. Coming in at number 10, y'all, we have the Dallas Wings. You look at their starting five. They have Paige Beckers, Arike Agumawale, Dejanay Carrington, Alyssa Smith, and Tierra McCowan. And y'all, listen, I know this might be controversial because a lot of people love Paige, and I do too, man. I think Paige is going to have a phenomenal rookie season. I think she's probably going to average like 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, something like that. We know Arike, man. I mean, Arike, she's just a stone cold, y'all. She really is. She's fearless. She's a tenacious scorer. She's an absolute dog defensively. But, y'all, I really worry about the shooting that they have in their starting lineup outside of Paige and Arike, because Dejanay, Alyssa Smith, and Tierra McCowan are not good shooters at all. And I think because of that, the Wings could really struggle offensively, even though they have Paige and Arike. But when you have players like Dejanay, Alyssa Smith, and Tierra McCowan on the floor at the same time, man, it's not going to be a lot of spacing on that floor at all for for Arike and Paige to operate, y'all. And I think it's going to make the Wings a pretty easy team to defend against, because they just don't have floor spacing and the shooting out there around Paige and Arike. Now, with that being said, I actually love their bench, y'all. They got Ty Harris, former South Carolina player, who's a really good shooter. She's a solid playmaker. They drafted Isaiah James, who, oh my goodness, Isaiah James, let me tell y'all something. She's going to have a really big role on this team. They also drafted JJ Quinterly, who made a lot of plays for them during the preseason. And then they traded for Maisha Hines-Allen, and they brought back Maddie Seeger. So I really love their bench, y'all. But again, I just really worry about the shooting and floor spacing that they have in their starting five outside of Paige and Arike. Now, the Wings are going to be a very exciting team to watch, man. I cannot wait to watch them play tonight. I think Paige and Arike, they're going to form a very great dynamic duo. But outside of them, y'all, again, the shooting and floor spacing on this team is very shaky. And in today's game, if this was, in the 90s or even the early 2000s, you could get away with having 3 non-shooters in your starting lineup. But in the 21st century, y'all, in 2025, having 3 non-shooters on your floor, man, that really, really, really concerns me. So because of that, I don't think the Wings are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a very exciting team. They're going to win some games, y'all, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get into the playoffs. But we all going to be looking at them because they have Paige and Arike. Coming in, y'all, at number 11, we have the Washington Mystics. You look at their starting five. They have Brittany Sykes, Sonia Citron, Emily Ainsler, Aaliyah Edwards, and Shakira Austin, y'all. And I actually think that the Mystics are going to be better than what some people think. Some people think the Mystics are going to be god-awful. Y'all, even last year, the Mystics won 14 games, and I thought they were going to win like 7 or 8 games. So I was actually surprised that they won 14 games. But I think when you look at this Mystics team, man, they have a good mix of vet and young players. I think they're going to play well for them. Brittany Sykes, now I will say this. I could see Brittany Sykes potentially getting traded during the season. Like, say if the Mystics, they're like, 5-18 or something like that. I could definitely see Brittany Sykes getting traded because she is a really good player, man. She can provide a lot of defense and toughness and playmaking to basically any contending team in the WNBA. But I love the addition of Sonia Citron. Y'all know I'm a big Sonia Citron fan. I think she's going to be a very good player for a long time. She's probably never going to be like a superstar player in the league, but she's going to be a very, very, very good player for years to come, man. Emily Ainsler, y'all, she's tough. She will provide defense. Aaliyah Edwards had a very strong rookie season, so I expect her to come back better in her sophomore sophomore season, y'all, to me, the big question for the Mystics, though, is going to be Shakira Austin, man. Can Shakira stay healthy? Because we know they have a young center, y'all, and Kiki Iriafen, who they just drafted, that's ready. Like, Kiki is probably ready to start right now. The reason I don't have her in the starting lineup is because I think the Mystics are going to give Shakira that starting center spot, y'all. But this is a very big year for Shakira, because if she is not able to stay healthy, or even if she stays healthy, but she doesn't take a massive jump in her game, I do think she will be off the team next year, and Kiki Iriafen will be the starting center. Even maybe as early as this year, y'all. Like, say if Shakira just fails to live up to expectations, I can see them either benching her or trading her and saying, hey, Kiki, the starting spot is yours. Let's see what you can do with it. So, yeah, I don't think this Mystics team is going to be as bad as a lot of people think. I really hate y'all that Georgia Amore tore her ACL. I was really looking forward to seeing what she was going to do this season. But, yeah, the Mystics, they still have some solid players on their team. And, again, I really love the young players that they have, Aaliyah Edwards, Sonia Citron, and Kiki Iriafen. So, because of that, they'll at least be, a decent team, but don't have super high expectations for them. And number 12, y'all, we have the Connecticut Sun. You look at their starting five. They have Lindsey Allen, J.C. Sheldon, Marina Mabry, Anissa Morrow, and Tina Charles, y'all. And after a 6-year run, the Connecticut Sun are finally in rebuild mode. Gone are the days of Alyssa Thomas and Awana Bonner and Tiffany Hayes and Bree Jones, and Jonquil Jones, y'all. Those days are over, man. This team is in rebuild mode, and because of that, y'all, they're not going to be very good. I mean, they aren't. You look at this starting lineup, Lindsey Allen, not the biggest fan of her. I think Lindsey Allen's a really bad shooter. She's a decent playmaker, but I don't really like her being their starting point guard, but she's going to start for them. Now, I really like J.C. Sheldon, y'all, and the reason they were able to get J.C. Sheldon is because, remember, they traded away Dejanay to the Dallas Wings, and in exchange, they got J.C. Sheldon. I did not like that trade for the Wings because I really like J.C. Sheldon. I think she's a tough player. She's a very heady player. She makes all the winning plays. She's a really good shooter and defender, so I'm going to be very interested to see what she does this season in her sophomore year. We know they still have Marina Mabry now. We know just last month, Marina Mabry had requested a trade, y'all. So let's see what happens. I do think Marina Mabry gets traded because I think this Sun team is going to be so bad that they're going to be forced to trade her, man. I wouldn't even be surprised if Marina is like, you know what? Just bench me. Like, I don't even want to play. Don't play me at all because we're so bad. We know, y'all, that the reason last year she wanted to come to the Sun is because she felt like they had a chance to compete for a championship. Obviously, they were close to going to the WNBA finals, but they fell short to the Minnesota Lynx. So, yeah, this team is totally different this year, y'all. But I really love their young players. And Lisa Morrow, I think she's going to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. She plays just like Angel Reese, y'all. We know last year so many people questioned as to whether Angel Reese was going to have success in the WNBA. But, y'all, I mean, Angel Reese, we saw what she did as a rebounder, her toughness, her tenacity, and what she did defensively. I expect Anissa Morrow to have that same impact, man. I've said this, and I'll say it again. Angel Reese and Anissa Morrow are the most tenacious rebounders I've ever seen. I mean, they are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure they get a rebound. So, yeah, I expect Anissa Morrow to have a very good rookie campaign. And then, y'all, their other draft pick, Sanaya Rivers, who I'm also a big fan of, man. I love her size, her length, her athleticism, her defense, her toughness. So I really like their two rookies that they have. But, yeah, outside of that, y'all, it's not a lot to be excited about the Sun. And also, they brought back WNBA legend Tina Charles. We know Tina Charles, she started her career out in Connecticut. So I think this is great for her getting to end her career where she started. And unfortunately for Tina Charles, y'all, she will not be competing for a championship. Heck, she won't even be competing for a playoff spot because, yeah, this Sun team is going to be really bad. And then, y'all, coming in at the 13th and final seed, we have the Golden State Valkyries. Their starting five is Veronica Burden, Tiffany Hayes, Kayla Thornton, Monique Billis, and Timmy Fack-Bentley. And because the Valkyries are an expansion team, y'all, obviously they're going to be really bad. And when you look at this starting five, you're like, yeah, got some solid role players. Kayla Thornton, I think, is a solid role player. She's a really good 3-and-D player. Monique Billis, is a really good rebounder. Veronica Burden is a really good defender. And then you got Tiffany Hayes and Timmy Fack-Bentley, the two vets on the team, are in the starting lineup, I should say. But yeah, y'all, I mean, this team is just not going to be that good. They aren't. I mean, the Valkyries are going to be a pretty bad team. I do like Kate Martin. Let's see what she can do this year now that she's going to have a much expanded role. But yeah, I just don't have, any expectations for the Valkyries. Now, as crazy as it's going to sound, y'all, I've seen some people out there that think the Valkyries could actually compete for a playoff spot. Y'all, I don't see that, man. This team is really bad, okay? They're going to be really bad. Now, I'm still going to watch them play because they're a new team, they're a new franchise, and it's exciting. You know, it's always exciting when you add another team to the league. But y'all, they're going to be really bad. Now, with that being said, I think they're going to be pretty good defensively because Kayla Thorne's a really good defender. Monique Billings is a solid defender. Veronica Burton is a really good defender. And then Timmy Fack Bentley is a good defender. But offensively, they are going to be god awful, y'all. They're going to be horrible. So, yeah, if you like to see teams score a lot of points, don't watch the Valkyries. But no, in all seriousness, everyone, please, just watch the Valkyries because they're a new team. So, they need all the support they can get. But yeah, don't have any expectations for the Valkyries. And before I get into the playoff matchups, I see we got a couple of comments. Sorry, just been going, so I missed these. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hey, what's up? Hello, Zay. I love your WNBA gear. Oh, thank you. As y'all see, I got my WNBA hat on and I got my Aces hoodie on. No, y'all, I'm not an Aces fan. As I stated earlier, the Atlanta Dream, they're my favorite team, but still representing, man. Love the WNBA, so I still have to represent. All right, y'all. With that being said, let's get to these playoff matchups. So, first round matchups, we have the Liberty taking on the Sky. I have the Liberty winning that series in 2. We have the Lynx taking on the Sparks. I have the Lynx also winning that series in 2. We have the Aces taking on the Storm. I have the Aces winning that series in 2. And then we have the Fever versus the Dream, y'all. And I have the Fever winning that series in 3, which pains me to say because for all my WNBA, historians out there, y'all know that the Dream and the Indiana Fever, they're arch rivals. And man, the Indiana Fever, y'all, back in 2012, they beat us in the finals. So I really hope this doesn't happen, but I have to admit, I think the Fever are better than us, so I have them beating us. And then, y'all, moving on to the semifinal matchups, man, I have the Liberty taking on the Fever. I have the Liberty winning that series in 5, y'all. And I will say, if this matchup comes to fruition, I think this is going to be a very tough series for the Liberty, man. I mean, again, the Fever, the additions of DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and Sydney Colson, man, are really going to pay dividends for them. I think they're going to come up just short against the Liberty because I think the Liberty have, the championship DNA, the championship pedigree to win that series. And then we have the Lynx taking on the Aces, and I have the Lynx winning this series of 5, y'all. I really want to have the Aces going back to the finals, but y'all, I just think that center spot is going to be an issue for them again, like it was last season. Now, if Cheyenne Parker comes back from her pregnancy and she's ready to go, and if Elizabeth Kinley is ready to go from her ACL injury last season, then I can see the Aces getting back to the finals, y'all. But right now, I have the Lynx going back to the finals. So as y'all see, it's a rematch, Liberty versus Lynx, y'all. And with that being said, it is time to give y'all my finals winner. And y'all, this was very tough because I think the Liberty are the better team. But I think the Lynx, y'all, are going to get their revenge. I have the Lynx beating the Liberty in 7 games. As y'all know, the WNBA finals now have got expanded from 5 games to 7 games. And I have the Minnesota Lynx winning, y'all. I just think the Lynx, man, they're very hungry. As I said earlier, Nafisa Collier, she really, really, really wants to get back to the finals and win it. And y'all, I just think she is really a woman on a mission. Again, if y'all did not watch Unrivaled, man, I mean, Fee looked like a different player. Like, she's already a great player, but she just looked like a different player. She really wants to win, and I think she's going to be able to catapult the Minnesota Lynx to a championship this year. Again, y'all, I think the Liberty have the better team, but I just feel like Nafisa Collier is going to be the difference in that series. So I have the Minnesota Lynx winning the championship, y'all, which would be their 5th championship in WNBA history, which would give them the most championships in WNBA history. So, yeah, that's my finals winner, y'all. So that was all the, my playoff predictions, my finals winner. Now let's get to the awards, y'all. I know y'all really going to be excited for this. And speaking of Nafisa Collier, y'all, I have her winning Defensive Player of the Year, man. I mean, Fee is just a phenomenal defender. Her versatility is insane. I mean, she can legitimately guard 1 through the 5, man. She is so quick. She is so agile. She's so athletic. Her defensive instincts are off the chain. And, yeah, I think she is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, man. Once again, she won it last year. I have her winning it again. I think other players that could win it would be like Cameron Brink, Brittany Sykes, and Asia Wilson. But I think Fee is going to win it again, y'all, because, yeah, I think she's just the most versatile defender in the WNBA. For Rookie of the Year, y'all, this was a pretty easy pick for me. I had Paige Beckers winning it. And yeah, like I stated earlier, man, I think Paige is going to have a phenomenal rookie season. I think she's going to be an all-star. I think she's going to average like 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And I think even as a rookie, y'all, she's going to establish herself as one of the best players in the WNBA. So yeah, I think Paige is going to have a phenomenal rookie season. Other players that could potentially win it would be like Dominique Malonga, maybe Sonia Citron, but I think the misses are going to be really bad. I don't think she's going to have a shot to win it. And then, a dark horse would be like a Sarah Ashley Barker from the LA Sparks. But no, I think this is Paige's award to lose, y'all. So I have her winning Rookie of the Year. For sixth player of the year, y'all, this was pretty tough, man, because I think there are several players that could win it. I think Marina Johannes could potentially win it. I think Ty Harris could win it. I think Tiffany Mitchell and Dana Evans could also win it. But, y'all, in the end, I picked Sophie Cunningham to win sixth player of the year. As I stated earlier, man, I'm a huge fan of Sophie Cunningham. I just love the way she plays, her tenacity, her toughness, her three-point shooting, and her defense. And I think she's going to have a very big role on this FIBA team. I know they're stacked. They have a lot of stars on their team. But, y'all, Sophie Cunningham is going to have a big impact for them because of all the things I just told you that she brings to the table. So, I have her winning sixth player of the year, y'all. But like I said, man, this is going to be a very tough award to predict because there are so many players that are going to be in consideration for this award, y'all. And also, I forgot to mention, I think Rebecca Allen from the Chicago Sky could also win this award. So I feel like there's probably like 6 to 8 players that have a legitimate chance of winning the sixth player of the year. But I chose Sophie Cunningham to win it, y'all. For most improved player, now, this award is very tricky to predict because you don't know what player is going to break out from year to year. I mean, last year, nobody thought Kennedy Carter was going to have the season that she had. So, y'all, I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I have Kate Martin winning most improved player. I really don't have an idea as to who could win this award because, again, we don't know who's going to have a better season than what they had last year. But I think because Kate Martin is on the Valkyries, she's going to get an opportunity to, get a lot of playing time because they're not going to be that good of a team. And I think she's going to take advantage of the opportunity, win most improved player. And we know, man, Kate Martin, she's a fan favorite. Like, everyone loves her. I really love her as well. So, yeah, I think she's going to win most improved. But, again, y'all, I will most likely be wrong with this pick. I mean, who knows who's going to win most improved? Because, again, it's so hard to predict. But, hey, taking a shot in the dark, I have Kate Martin winning, y'all. For Coach of the Year, man, we heading back to the Indiana Fever. I had Sophie Cunningham winning most improved, y'all. And for Coach of the Year, I have Stephanie White winning it, man. I think Stephanie White is a top 3 coach in the WNBA, just behind Becky Hammond and Sandy Brundella. And, yeah, I mean, I expect the Fever to have a phenomenal season, y'all. Now, I have them as the 4 seed, but let's say the Fever get the 2 seed. Yeah, Stephanie White is definitely going to win Coach of the Year. Other coaches that I consider, Tyler Marsh from the Chicago Sky, Carson Mesco from the Atlanta Dream, and Sandy Brundella from the New York Liberty. But, y'all, I settled on Stephanie White again. She's a top 3 coach in the WNBA. And, I mean, you just look at that team. Woo, the Fever are going to be a very dangerous team this year. And I think because of that, Stephanie White is going to win Coach of the Year, y'all. And then last but certainly not least, the MVP, y'all. And listen, it was between 2 players for me, but y'all, I had to settle. Y'all see, I'm repping the Aces, man. I'm repping the Aces. I had to give it to my girl, Asia Wilson. Asia is my favorite player in the WNBA, and I think she's going to win the MVP yet again, y'all. She would be the first 4-time MVP in WNBA history. I think she's going to get it done this season. I think Asia is still the best player in the league, and I think she's going to show that yet again. Now, it might be some voter fatigue because, she has won it 3 times already, but y'all, man, it is so tough to deny greatness. Now, with that being said, I definitely think Nafisa Collier and Caitlin Clark and Breanna Stewart are going to be in the running for the MVP award as well, y'all, but I think it will go back to Asia Wilson because she's going to have yet another dominant season. I know they added Jewel Lloyd, so her points might go down a little bit, but when you just talk about what Asia does, y'all, I mean, what she brings to the table in totality, her scoring, her defense, her shot blocking ability, but it's also the intangible things, y'all. It's her leadership, man. She is the leader of that Aces team, and yeah, she's very hungry to show people she's still the best player in women's the WNBA. I know, there's been a lot of chatter about some other players, y'all, but I still feel like Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA, and she's gonna prove that yet again this season, man. So there y'all have it. That was my 2025 WNBA season predictions. I really hope y'all enjoyed this, man. I know I enjoyed this. I see we got several people again from Twitch, man. What's up to all my Twitch people out there? Y'all, it has been so long since I've been live on Twitch, so I'm glad to be back on Twitch. But yeah, there y'all have it, man. My 2025 WNBA season predictions. When I tell y'all, I think this is going to be the most exciting season in WNBA history. I mean, I really mean that. I've been watching the WNBA since 2012, y'all. I've seen a lot of great seasons. I've seen a lot of great players, but I just feel like this season is just going to be a very special season because you talk about the young talent, the veteran players. I just think when you combine them, y'all, we just gonna see a lot of talent on the floor every single game. The league is super competitive, y'all. I mean, I think there's like 9 or 10 teams that have a shot of making the playoffs. You know, normally you don't say that, but man, I just really feel like y'all, this league is super competitive. It's so many great players all across the board, again, young and older, and I'm just really looking forward to this WNBA season. So yeah, I'm super pumped, man. I hope y'all are pumped as well. And like I said last year, I'm going to be here, y'all, to discuss the players, to discuss the games. Y'all know I'm not just going to talk about the NFL and NBA and Big Three even all the time. No, I'm going to be here to support my ladies, to support the women, y'all, because these women are really hooping. I feel like as a young man myself, I need to use my platform and support them, man, because, I mean, they are really phenomenal. Like, if you don't watch the WNBA, man, please watch it because these women game in the game out there, going out there, giving everything they have and giving us some really exciting games to watch. So, yeah, really looking forward to this WNBA season. Let's see. We got some couple of more comments coming in. I don't even watch the WNBA, but I love the stream. Oh, thank you. I bet my money on your predictions, LOL. Hey, I mean, I'm hoping I'm right. Excuse me. I might be wrong about a couple of predictions, but yeah, I mean, I just do this for fun, y'all. You know, I'm not trying to, be 100% correct with these predictions. Obviously, no one can correctly predict anything because we don't know what's going to happen. But I do this because, one, I love the WNBA, and two, I just love making predictions. I think it's very exciting just to come on here and make predictions on something that you really love, and I really, really love the WNBA. So, again, y'all, those are my predictions, man. The season starts tonight, y'all, at 6:30. I would probably make a little poll about the 2 games that we had tonight. See who y'all think is going to win tonight. Speaking of that, y'all, let me actually pull up the schedule real quick while it's on my mind because I definitely know the Wings are playing. I feel like they might be playing the Lynx tonight, but let me check that real quick. And I can just go ahead and give y'all my predictions right now. So we have the Dream taking on the Mystics. Y'all already know I'm going. Give me the Dream. We have the Lynx taking on the Wings, y'all. Now, Caleb McBride will not be playing tonight. So you know what, y'all? I'm gonna take the Wings to beat the Lynx. I am. I think at home, that's Paige's first game. Man, the crowd's gonna be rocking, y'all. I mean, that crowd is gonna be on fire. I like the Wings to win that game. And then last but not least, we have the Sparks taking on the Valkyries. And y'all, I have the Sparks getting the dub. So again, I have the Dream beating the Mystics. I have the Wings beating the Lynx, and I have the Sparks beating the Valkyries. But I will make a couple of polls in the community tab so I can get feedback from y'all. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. And hold up before I get ready to end this thing officially. Great job, Zay. Thank you, man. Another thing too, I just want to say a big thanks to everyone that came through last night on the stream when we watched the Big Three, man. Y'all really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. We had a lot of people on there, so I really appreciate that. Want to thank God for all of y'all, man. Y'all know I really love y'all. We more than just, I'm more than just a guy that just talks sports. Like, no, y'all really like family to me, so I love y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Remember, laughter's good message, so what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.